Hi, in this video I'm going to be giving you my up-to-date review of this, the original Hydrow. Out of every rower I've ever used, the original Hydrow is my favourite, and I've covered nearly 250,000 metres on the original Hydrow, and also the more budget-friendly, home-friendly in size maybe, Hydrow Wave. So as we roll into 2024, the question is Hydrow still the best rowing experience for people who want to bring the outdoors in without getting wet? Let's find out. Well, they do say that beauty is in the eye of the beholder, and I've always liked the clean and uncluttered look of the original Hydrow, and also the Hydrow Wave with its more industrial feel. I think this is tied with the Peloton Row for looks, although I do think this looks slightly better designed. I love this kind of like bow feature here at the front. As you can probably see, this is a big rowing machine. It's 86 inches long, 24 inches wide. However, if it's not going to be a showpiece in your room, the screen does fold down, as you can see here, and this would probably sit fairly well in the corner of a room, maybe behind a large sofa or something when not in use. Hydrow can also be stored upright. Hydrow sell an upright storage kit, and it's quite easy if you're taller than 5'7", which I am, like 5'7.5", I think. It does get a little bit hard to get to this top bit here when you're putting it up. But it will store in the corner of a room upright like this, and then Hydrow sell a wall anchor so that you can anchor it to the wall just to keep it safe. I mean, it is pretty sturdy, but it's probably better to be safe than sorry. The next thing I want to talk about are the touch points on the Hydrow. And these are the handlebars, the foot plates here, and also the seat. With the foot plates, there's plenty of adjustment. You've got lots of holes here to cover all feet sizes, and also strap width as well. And these are very comfortable to move. There's a little bit of give there, which is quite handy when you're rowing, and they're really well spaced. So the distance between these two foot plates is excellent. The seat on the Hydrow is also very comfortable. In fact, it's the most comfortable I've ever used. And there's also a little cutout here for your tailbone, so when you're rowing for longer distances, you don't get uncomfortable. The handle as well is good. Now, I would give this handle, if the seat's a 10 out of 10 and the foot plates are a 10 out of 10, the handle is an 8 out of 10. The positioning is good, it's nice and round, it's easy to hold, easy to grip, but it's a little bit smooth. So when your hands get quite sweaty, they can feel like there's a little bit of movement on here. I wouldn't have minded a slightly more rubberized finish. I think I'm just being picky because it's hard to criticize this machine because it is so good. But yeah, a solid 8 out of 10 for the handle. The smoothness of this seat is... One thing that really stands out is just how smooth the seat is on these rollers. When you're rowing backwards and forwards here, it does feel really silky underneath you. Rowing and talking is just so difficult. I don't know how the athletes do it on here. So one of the reasons why this seat is so good is because of these rollers. Now, I don't know if you can see there, but there are 10 rollers underneath there. A lot of rowing machines, when you get them, they have 4 rollers, one on each corner, but this has got 10, which makes the rowing experience so smooth. In addition to this comfy seat, very, very good. With this magnetic resistance, Hydrow have managed to hit the sweet spot. I was a little bit concerned when I first got a Hydrow in 2021 that I'd be able to outpull the machine or it wouldn't feel natural. But Hydrow have really mastered this resistance curve on the way out and also on the way back. You can see here, it's giving me proper resistance on the way out, and you can't unpull it, you can't outpull it. I'm not gonna be able to. I'm pulling as hard as I can. This machine's got more in it than I have. But if you look on the way back, it's nice and taut. So there's no sort of slapping of that belt. It goes back nice, and so I'm gonna have to stop. I'm just gonna assume that you get the picture. So this is set to 104. The resistance goes a lot higher than that and a lot lower than that. Hydrow suggests 104 because that closely represents water, and I've got no reason to disbelieve them. And if you're thinking about buying a Hydrow or a Hydrow Wave, I'll put a link in the description. That will take you to the best price on Hydrow's website, and it also helps support the channel and enables me to make more videos like this one, which is greatly appreciated. Visually, both Hydrow screens show off the workouts like this. It's crisp, it's engaging, it's you feel like you're kind of almost on the water with the instructor. If you want to, you can have a leaderboard, which is here, or I quite often will just push that away. You've also got your metrics along here as well, or you can also go full screen. One thing I also like is if you want to, you can have closed captions on, if you want to listen to a different audio source, for instance. And you can have only music, more music, normal mix, or you can have just the athlete on there. And you can also change the music genre. So this is fairly new. And if you don't want to listen to the default for this workout, which was rock, you might want noughties hip hop. You just change the station, basically. It's quite impressive. And then that's the soundtrack to your workout. You can use a third-party heart rate monitor. I use a Whoop. Or if you've got an Apple Watch, if you're one of the sheeple, I am too. You can just do it via their app. I talked earlier about the resistance, so it goes all the way down there to 50. I think it's 276, 300 it goes up to. I'm gonna put it back there. Hydrow also have a really good selection of off-the-rower workouts. So as you can see, this is a yoga workout. And on the original Hydrow, the screen rotates, as you can see, and pivots backwards and forwards, which makes it really good for yoga workouts next to your own machine. If you go for the Wave, it doesn't pivot, which is a shame, but you can also use the Hydrow app, or you can screencast to a television if you've got that function as well from the Hydrow app. Another aspect of Hydrow, which I really like, are their bootcamp series. So this pairs rowing, as you can see here, along with strength training. So you spend some time on the rower, and then you get off the rower, and then you do some strength training. And the athletes that Hydrow picked, I think, are excellent. These guys are very much kind of trainer-led. You feel like you're learning while you're working out as well. And they've all got quite interesting stories to tell as well. This is a connected fitness rower, so it has a subscription, and that's $44 a month, which I think is reasonable for the amount of content that you get. So you're looking at 5,000 workouts on here, and they're adding to this all the time. So even if you did one workout a day, I mean, you've got 5,000 days before you, well, plus they're making new ones. So I suspect, I don't think you're gonna ever repeat the same workout more than once unless you really like that workout and went back for it. So should you buy a Hydrow? Well, out of every rower I've ever used, the original Hydrow is my absolute favorite. I think it's excellent. I also like the Hydrow Wave. I think it's a really efficient way to work out. So this morning, before I started filming, I had 20 minutes on this. Not only did I get a really good cardiovascular workout, I also worked 86% of my muscles. Let's say 86% of my muscles. I certainly felt it in my posterior chain, and I just did some push-ups afterwards, and there you have really a full body workout. So when it comes to something that's time efficient for getting the most bang for your buck, yeah, the Hydrow is excellent. Normally it would take me on a bike or a treadmill, for instance, probably 20 minutes of weight training in addition to that 30 to 40 minutes of cardio on a bike or a tread to get where I felt after 20 minutes on this. The other thing that I really love about the Hydrow, I'm a severe asthmatic, so I've got about 65% lung function, is it helps to regulate your breathing. Because when you're pulling up this way, there's a little break here to breathe, and then when you get to the front, there's a little break to breathe. So it does mean that if you've not got the best lung fitness, or you might have asthma for instance, you get these little breaks at either end just to get a little bit of a breathing to keep you in the game. Well, I hope you found this video useful. As I've mentioned, I'll put a link in the description which will take you to the best price on Hydrow's website, and it also helps support the channel. And if you want to see more of my Hydrow videos, then just click up here. I've got dozens of them. It's a great rower and I really recommend it. Until next time, see you soon.